It's been 1 year since I lost the opportunity of a lifetime. You wanna know how I screwed up? It all came down to a lack of self-trust. My friend Sophia met this guy called Herman in one of her other acting classes. He wasn't there for the class though. He was some film director or producer making a feature film. He was there to look for potential casting. I was attending a table when I got a call from Sophia. He was making this film about a dude around my age named Rao, who begins his own local investigative newsletter while in university. The thing gets relatively successful for his needs, keeping him independent and able to contribute to certain bills at home. He even starts paying for his university. But then his father gets too involved and excited, believing Rao just landed on a gold mine. He takes out a huge loan to expand into a studio, hire some of Rao's classmates, but ultimately it gets out of hand. His father gets into a ton of debt, the niche aspect of the newsletter is completely ruined, and now his father has to find a way to make it work, completely mutating what Rao's idea was and essentially taking his own business from him. Sophia showed my headshots to Herman, and he said that I looked exactly how he imagined Rao. Apparently, Herman still hadn't cast the part and was desperate now. She told him I was a terrific actor. I got a message from Herman telling me he'd love for me to audition for the part and to send in a tape by that next day. It was one page between Rao and his father. Rao screamed at him and told him if he was ever going to be a father, the first lesson he'd learned was not to be like him. I remember I thought about the scene all day. I myself have an amazing relationship with my dad. I can't even remember the last time I had a fight with him. So I found it hard to see myself in the place of Rao, in that emotional situation. See, in acting classes, I always tried to find something that connected me with the character. Some sort of truth, like Sophia used to say. But with this one, aside from being the same age, he was too different from me. I imagined myself playing that scene all day on my way back home. Just imagining it, I could feel the lines like getting diluted in my stomach. Like I screamed, but there was no need in it. At 7 p.m., Sophia came over to help me. She brought a tripod and we began analyzing the scene. We talked about Rao for like an hour. We even wrote a backstory about him. How his father was a single dad who worked 2 jobs to put food on the table, put Rao through school and university, letting him study journalism even when it didn't promise much. Basically, his father was perfect and gave his entire life for him. I wasn't sure it was like that in the film, but it helped me make some version of who Rao was speaking in that scene. Even after all this, I just didn't feel it. Sophia told me to stop obsessing over understanding Rao, saying the character didn't need to understand himself, so why did I have to? And she was right, so she got me to start doing it. In that moment, I felt like I was wrapped around tin foil with nothing inside, no emotions to explode, just a wrapper. When we started recording, I got up and I thought of something. This weird feeling came into my gut. I could just feel something for the slightest moment. I imagined this bright pearl that popped up in me, in my stomach. So I told Sophia, just record. I did the scene, but not how I'd been imagining it that whole day. The script said Rao screamed and had tears in his eyes, but I was basically the opposite. I felt calm, quiet, but stone cold. Like I had no feeling left in me. Like if a knife went through my stomach, I wouldn't have felt it. So as soon as Sophia said cut, I felt like I'd done the worst self-tape ever. Sophia was quiet as well. She didn't say anything and just watched the tape. I ignored it. I hate seeing myself on tape. Sophia knew this, so she put headphones on. It was only like a minute, but Sophia must have watched it like 5 times because it took an eternity for her to take the headphones off. And she just told me to send this one. She said to trust her. She really wanted me to send that one. I was like, fuck no, and told her I want to go again. She said it was so good, there was no point in doing it anymore. I I told her I didn't even scream, which was very important in the script. That second time, I tried to break that tin foil I was wrapped in. I thought maybe if I could push through it, it would explode and I'd look amazing on camera. I screamed at Sophia, imagining how much of a piece of shit my father was, my father, Rao's father. I think I even got some tears in my eyes in that one. I absolutely demolished that tin foil. It felt good. Sophia cut and I asked to watch it with her. I felt good about that one. I really felt in that time I had to send that one. Sophia told me I should just send the first one. I didn't understand why. I didn't feel anything in that one. I remember telling her that. I couldn't understand. I mean, how could she possibly think that one was better if I was stale and boring? According to her, I was actually the most honest and truthful I'd ever been in that first one. Which she was basically saying I wasn't in that second one. That I was a little forced and it looked like I was forcing tears. Which she was kind of right, but there was no way the first one was better, I thought. We decided to watch the first one. I thought maybe I missed something. I hated it. I looked weird, out of place. My face was ugly and I didn't even move. I don't even know why I thought that. I wanted to do it again until it was good. Sophia got really frustrated and she really wanted to go home at that point. Because she would tell me, just frickin' send that first tape. That's how she put it. I tried it again, the way I did the first one. I mainly did it to try to prove that it sucked. So I imagined how I did it in that first one. I tried to imagine that tin foil just resting in my body and, not trying to make it explode. Sophia cut and said I couldn't just replicate the first one. Of course it would be bad. Yeah, of course it would. But I think it was mainly because I thought I was doing it badly. Yeah, at that point she just started yawning and said she was gonna go home. It was around midnight, so I did kind of want her to go at that point because I felt like she wasn't helping anymore. Actually, right before she left, literally at the door, she told me, please just send that first one. I forced myself through it, watching that terrible version of myself. I felt like such a bad actor. That wasn't a good feeling, and I thought, oh, well, it would only hurt me more on the next performance if I kept judging myself like that. And I didn't think twice. I should have. I deleted that first take. I thought that was the right thing to do. The perfect take wouldn't be possible if I had that one and Sophia's words hanging over my head. Then I spent like an hour just sitting there, thinking about the character. And yeah, I thought of Rao for some time. Thought about his dad. He didn't purposefully harm him, and I think Rao knew that, but Rao told him the newsletter worked because it was small, it was unfiltered. And his father didn't know anything about that. And he was so desperate, he didn't think twice. There was a moment when I started seeing the world through Rao's eyes. And I didn't really understand, but there was this feeling inside me. So I imagined that pearl again, that shiny, bright pearl. And it was that. I think that was Rao. I think he didn't hate his dad, but he hated the situation they were in. And that's when I decided to start rolling again. Then I convinced myself that pearl is what made that first one work. So what I had to do was repeat it that same way and train that pearl. And I wanted that pearl to grow further inside me. I felt like if I did it again and again, this pearl would grow and I would have the perfect take and I would surely get the role. I clicked record and that first take was the only thing playing in my head. It actually looked better than how I remembered it. And Sophia was right. I did it that way again, quietly. Still, I imagined Rao's father across the room from me, the tin foil breathing around me. I said my lines really naturally. I actually didn't even feel like I had to remember them, like they were just there. As soon as I finished that one, I rushed to watch it. I thought the night would be over, I'd dress calmly, and I compared it to that first one in my head. It looked weird, but not weird like before. I hated it. I could clearly see myself in front of a camera performing. It wasn't Rao, it was just me. I didn't have to much more than 20 seconds to stop. And yeah, maybe I just needed to train that muscle and it would get better. I imagined that pearl like a muscle. I had to strengthen it and it would glow brighter and it would grow into an even bigger pearl. And it would be so much better than that first take. I did it again a few more times. I thought there was no need to stop and watch. I just had to do it over and over and I would get the best version. Take 5, 6, 7, 8. I imagined that first take like as if it was multiplying every single time. I was Rao. I was going to be in a feature film. I imagined myself winning Best Actor at Cannes. My dad would be there and I'd tell the journalists there how this film made me love my father even more. I counted how many recordings I had done. 37 in total. I thought 37 times better than the first one. So I decided to go to bed. I thought if I watch the last one, I'm just going to be fantasizing all night and then I'll be dysfunctional the next day. I didn't know I was screwed anyway. I woke up 3 hours later at 8 a.m. I had to force myself to work. I thought I'd just watch the tape when I got there, I'd send it out and Herman would want to meet with me or something later that day. As soon as I got to work, I put my stuff in the back and I decided to watch that last tape. I wasn't tired and seeing it wrong. It was absolutely nothing like that first take. Now it was actually stale and boring. I was literally like a mummy in tin foil. There was nothing there. My eyeline changed like 5 times in 5 seconds. I looked like a statue saying words. But in the first one I was still, but I didn't look like a statue. And I thought maybe in that last one I was just too tired. Maybe I hit a peak in an earlier take. I went to take 36. It was basically the same. Take 35, it was the same. I just had my arms crossed instead of by my side. Where was Rao? This wasn't even me at this point. It was some rock. My manager was telling me I was taking too long and I was being late. I lied and told him I had a stomach ache and rushed to the bathroom to keep watching the other ones. I kept watching backwards and it didn't get any better. Take 26. Now it wasn't a rock. It was like a tree trunk. Maybe a good sign, I thought. That first take played in my head. Maybe it wasn't that good and I was just imagining it better than it was. I had to watch it again. I called Sophia to ask if maybe she still had it. I remember I pleaded to God that she had. She didn't, of course. It was only on my phone. I just hung up and I kept looking through the tapes. I thought of how embarrassing it would be to send one of these. I mean, Herman was expecting a terrific actor and he'd get an amateur who looked like he'd never played charades. Now at that point I did have a stomach ache. I still don't know. Maybe did I train the pearl too hard? I didn't know what to do. I didn't even want to work anymore. My manager was outside asking if I was alright. I couldn't even answer him. I think I stayed there for like another hour. A memory of take 1 played in my head. I don't know. I never sent any tape. I never told Sophia I deleted that first take. There was no point. I probably wouldn't have even gotten the part anyway.